Hello, I'm Ross Foldetta. 16 years ago, I founded Foldetta Commercial, which is a commercial real estate brokerage company located in the Woodlands, where we focus much of our attention on the north side of Houston, assisting buyers, sellers, landlords, and tenants. Previously, I spent 20 years managing the commercial real estate portfolio for the Woodlands Development Company, or what many of you know as the Woodlands. Today, we are bringing you our first video presentation where we intend to highlight our clients and their businesses. I've been thinking about posting interviews for the past few months, and with the COVID-19 stay-at-home restrictions and businesses now set to reopen, it seems like a perfect time to introduce FINS, the acronym Fun in Swimming, and the owner, Bill Gudicay. Bill and I met when he owned a general contracting company and was building a new hair salon for one of my other clients. As part of my activities, I helped the client work through execution of a construction contract. Bill and I worked really well together, and he was kind enough to ask me if I'd be willing to help find a second swim school for his other family-owned business. That was a little over 10 years ago and 4 swim schools, so the rest is history. Enough about me. I'd like to introduce Bill and let him give you his personal background and tell the FINS story, as well as what he and his staff have been doing over the last couple of months and how they're set to relaunch on May 18th.
Thank you, Ross. I appreciate the opportunity. Most people don't know this, but I was not a good swimmer at the beginning. In fact, I failed beginning swimming 4 times until I finally talked my mom out of not making me take classes anymore. But it wasn't until my dad said, let's swim a mile at a Boy Scout camp, and he really helped me a lot through that mile, that I finally gained enough confidence to say maybe I could be a swimmer. So I joined a local team, and really, as they say, the rest is history. Ended up swimming in college, ended up qualifying for the Olympic trials. And so I'm thinking if it wasn't for my dad and my mother's persistence about joining a team, we wouldn't be here today talking about a swim school. But that has changed my life in a lot of ways, just swimming in general. And so our intention with FINS was to do the same for our clients. There's so many kids that are timid and perhaps not good in other sports and things like that, and certainly swimming is something that we have to provide for our kids nowadays because there's so many opportunities with water around us that without this, then they could have a mishap, and that's what we want to avoid. Really, the key tenet in our mission statement at FINS is that drowning is preventable. So that's what drives us every day and what keeps us going and keeps our focus as to what it is. So when I met you several years ago, we had the one location that we had actually bought from another person, and we have renovated it considerably and grown it quite a bit, but we were ready for expansion. And so I knew I needed a broker, and you looked like a good one. So I came to you, and really everything worked out very nicely. You showed me about 10 properties, if you recall, in the Woodlands. Spent a lot of time with me, but we finally selected one, and we're very glad we did. And that was our first location. We then went through a couple in Atascocita, if you'll remember. Oh, yeah. One didn't go through at the last second, and actually we're glad that it didn't, because about a year later you found a terrific place. So that was our third location, that one being in Atascocita. That was about 2011. So fast forward to 2016, and we found a location in Cypress. They had, in fact, had called me quite a bit, so I called you, got you involved, and then through a long and somewhat arduous negotiation, we were able to land a very nice facility in Cypress in the Black Horse and Bridgeland area. And then we'll fast forward again to 2019, and I kept telling you I want a place over on the Grand Parkway near Burnham Wood in the Bender's Landing area, and you said, well, let's keep looking, and we did. And finally, we found one, and it is a terrific place, and we're excited to be there. So through all of this, we finally discovered that we really did a paradigm shift, if you would, about a year ago, when we discovered that private lessons might be the way to go. So the interesting part of that is that we had developed a curriculum for private lessons. In fact, we had started them in a lot of our locations and did some case studies with it just to see what the difference would be. Obviously, the price is more, and so we wanted to see if the quality or the value back to the customer would be better with the private lessons. In a 20-minute private, you're going to get 20 minutes with the instructor. Whereas with a group lesson of 4, you're probably at best going to get 7.5 minutes, but more than likely 4 or 5 minutes of good instruction from that particular instructor. So it seemed to be that this would be the thing that would work. So when we launched Grand Parkway, having a good case study behind us, knowing where our pricing needed to be and how quickly the kids could accelerate through the program, and we had great success, private lessons only, and we had a great number of students already enrolled, and then coronavirus hit. And that has put an end to a lot of things. So on March 17th, we furloughed most of our staff. And after that, we have spent a tremendous amount of time just preparing our facilities, really. You can get down in the dumps and things like this, but really at the end of the day, you're going to have to pick yourself back up and see what can happen. So we've done a lot of renovations with our facilities. We put new paint on so that the walls are easier to wash. We have taken walls and doors down so it's easier to be more mobile through our facilities and people won't have to be so close together. But the biggest thing is that entire pivot in our business from group lessons to private lessons just made sense. When we think about social distancing, it only made sense to go to a private lesson, not have a group class with several students in one group huddled together. So making that switch to all the locations was a challenge. So we've spent a tremendous amount of time training, first of all, our aquatic managers, then our lead instructors, and now we're getting ready to bring our furloughed employees back and train all of them the rest of the week. So we're going to be ready when our students hit the door. As far as getting our facilities ready, we've added some UV lights to our spaces in order to eliminate some germs and possible disease that could be there. We already have UV lights that are part of our swimming facility, and all the water passes through a UV light into a chlorinated pool. So we're very, very safe. In fact, the CDC says that coronavirus cannot be transmitted through water, chlorinated water at least. So those are all good things for our business. We have gone to other lengths in that we're going to put clear acrylic shields up at our customer service desks in order to keep the customers separated from our customer service team members. We're going to we have infrared thermometers that are come in as each of our team members come in and each of our customers come in. We're going to actually take their temperature, and obviously if they're running a fever, we're going to ask them if we can do a makeup lesson later on, because we just don't want to expose our team members or other customers to anything that might be there. We're also got, and this was the difficult thing, everybody's using a mask now, but how do you do that in the pool? And you obviously can't. So we have found a clear acrylic face shield that will suffice. Now we're probably going to put Rain-X on it so the waters will bead up and not prohibit the vision of the instructors, but we're going to try that. We think that'll work, and other swim schools have experimented with that, so we think that will work well. Our people that are in our facilities walking around, our customer service or the folks doing almost janitorial service by cleaning up, they're going to be doing quite a few things as well, plus wearing masks to keep themselves safe and keep our customers safe. So over the years, even going back to when I was supposedly a swimmer and failed 4 times, that was an obstacle, but it was an obstacle that was overcome. We've overcome many obstacles along the way. Business is not easy. Starting a business is not easy. And this has certainly given a huge bump in the road to what was progressing as a great year. But we're not going to let that stop us. We're excited about May 18th. We're excited to get back in and become that first line of defense against drowning and make sure our children are protected, because drowning is the #1 cause of death with children 0 to 4 years old. And that is preventable, and we want to be there for you.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you, Ross.
I hope you found this video helpful and interesting. You can find out more about FINS at swimatfins.com. Feel free to email me, ross@foldetta.com, if you want to ask a question or leave a comment about how these videos might be more beneficial. Thanks for your time.